Warning, the following audio has a lot of cursing.
All right. Welcome to the Cerberus podcast. My name is Sam, also Cthulhu. With me today is a bunch of random team members from Cerberus Tactical Airsoft. It's after the season. We've all had a pretty good season for Airsoft. Yesterday was Veterans Day, right? It's hard to tell. There's a lot of posts about the whole thank me for my service stuff. So it's going to go on for the next 3 days. So
it reminds me, no one's thanked me or Hunter first.
I was going to say something, and I was like, God, hit me if he thinks it's not funny.
I was expecting a whole post on West Michigan Airsoft dedicated to Kyle and I.
Hey,
we didn't get fucking shit.
You know what we can do? Hey, we'll just walk out the door. We'll come back in and pretend like none of this happened. We can start from square one.
Hunter, you weren't around.
Hunter,
you weren't around for us to pull it out of your ass.
I'll reserve it for your DD-214. It'll be a birthday present, basically. It's okay. Today we're going to chat about the Airsoft community in general, because, I mean, we could chat about anything, really. So I think first thing we want to talk about is the players and the player base. I have a few topics here. Casual softers. If you don't know what that is, it's usually, I want to say guys who do rec games, but it's usually in jeans and a t-shirt. And you can talk immersion and all that bullshit, but whatever. You got recreational guys, so you got mainly me. Even though I do milsims, I wear what I want. It's actually comfortable and functional in an outdoor setting. And then I have my nice gun and whatever. Then you got milsimmers, which is the extended portion of it, where I think we all thoroughly enjoy a good chunk of milsim. Mm-hmm. And you have to have an extended amount of gear and stuff like that. It's almost required radios, things like that. Then you have what I like to call impressionists, where it's that one dude who wants that specific Delta loadout from 2004, and god damn it if you don't have the right bottoms for your top.
God help you.
Borderline elitism, and then full-on elitism is the last one. So it's the guys with nods. And yeah, looking at you. How are you, Tom, Mr. Mock Quads?
I know, I'm not even cool. I just try to be cool, but I'm not. Tucker's the real fucking deal. I'm just a joke.
Oh, yeah. Tucker, tell him how much you spent on that one.
No. This is going to go on the internet. My wife doesn't need to know.
I believe.
And cut.
I'll just say, we're both that guy that if all of our shit gets sold by our wives, we're going to get nothing. Like
we keep our accounts separate, so I guess it really wouldn't matter.
See?
That's a smart thing to do.
Did you sign the prenup? Did you sign the prenup? No, you didn't, did you? She's going to get those nods when you're divorced.
When they divorce. When dick.
Wow. What else do you do after marriage? Die or divorce? One of the two.
I plan on being...
He'd still be alive if he's divorced.
Marriage.
I don't want him to die. You want him to die, God?
No one want him to die.
So anyway.
We need to get a Deadpool set up, though. Who's going to be the first one?
Well, I already have the Deadpool Eagle.
Yeah, I almost died from your fucking airsoft.
First of all, it was Josh's fault.
Your gun.
Twice.
I know. No, the first time was him. The second time was you when you handed me that Thunder Bee with the pinpole.
Well, I mean, you took it.
Yes.
I didn't make it.
Busy trying to pull security for you.
I'm trying to remember. I know you've done bullshit to me, and I'm forgetting it because I forgive you a lot better than you forgive me.
That's what he says, but he just forgets.
So, what out of these groups, what do you feel has the highest toxicity? Because we've played a lot of Airsoft.
Wow.
Come on.
I think we all...
Say it.
Looking at me again.
Say it.
Those darn casual softers.
Impressionist followed by milsimmers. Hands down.
Agree.
Hands down.
Yeah, if you want to do that type of style of play and you want to have that realism, that's all your thing. And I still favor a lot of the realism and some aspects, but you gotta learn to let loose.
Yeah.
And not be such a hard ass on many things.
You need to remember that you're not.
This is a game.
Navy SEAL Delta spaceship door gunner. You're holding a toy shooting plastic pellets at somebody else.
The Air Force is developing that NASA. So it's happening.
Hey, NASA has their own like SWAT team.
Yeah.
So
For the space pirates that we don't have.
Space aliens.
that'd be a pretty badass job.
If you actually
Can you
reacted to
imagine
space
being
pirates.
like a high tier security on a high tier like
Fucking space station.
security force for NASA?
That'd be
I
badass.
bet you get paid really well and you just hang out with
No,
really
you,
cool
no,
tech.
it's NASA. You get paid shit, but you get to hang out with cool shit.
I'd be okay with that. I'd
Yeah.
be happy doing what I do.
Yeah.
So you guys mentioned impressionists and milsimers can be where the most toxic.
Elitists.
I noticed you skipped over elitists. Would you say that elitists get called out pretty obviously, and that's why you don't think they're a problem, just because they usually get freaking, what's it called?
Posed.
No, when the church excommunicates, basically, you get abandoned by the community the second you start talking shit about someone else just because.
I don't think. I mean, elitists are kind of the face of being problem children in the airsoft community.
Agreed. Not
But-
countries.
As far as like numbers and experience goes, I'm pretty sure impressionists followed by milsimers have them beat. There's just the elitists stand out more because they're wearing all the super cool Gucci gear,
Yeah.
and usually the elitists roll into the impressionists. They're usually. It's not like
Shout out to Cry.
yeah, it's,
One thing about Cry, they just released their Airsoft division.
and it's still going to be more expensive than LBX stuff.
Right.
Anyway,
What's the point?
Because it's still Cry.
Cry or die, I suppose.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's
I
like
mean,
that. It's
props
like
to you if you-
Warsport LVOA.
I mean,
It's still an M4.
I mean, if I had the expendable income and I played airsoft enough, sure I'd buy it. Why not? Because I have the money. It's not like I'm saving for months to buy a pair of pants. It'd be one of those. I need more pants. I'll just buy a pair of these and run them till they die, and I'll buy another pair and run them till they die. I mean, I wouldn't care, but I'm not. I don't have that. I don't have the expendable income enough to justify a $300 pair of pants.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
shit.
felt
That's
hard
how,
justifying a $100 pair of pants from LVX.
I mean, that's literally almost as much as my suit pants cost. I'm not spending the same amount on a pair of airsoft pants. To me, personally, but, you know, if I'm making $100,000 a year without my fiance's income added on that, I'm sure I'll get a little extra lying around, and, you know, by all means.
Now, from the opposite aspect, we have casual softers and recreationals. Do you feel towards the community they can be considered just as harmful or more harmful, especially when you have people who are very, very informal about how they approach the sport? You got guys that just dick around. They don't wear correct iPro, sometimes not even iPro at all. And they're just shooting at each other in the backyard and all this stuff, but then they just come to these games and then you see them and then you're just like, you were told ahead of time. Do you feel that that is just as harmful or maybe even more harmful? Because it's a lot of the rules and regulations that can do. You got the guys shooting in the staging area. You know, there's a lot. It's mostly the safety aspect. Do you think they're just as bad or maybe worse?
I think they're worse, and in some aspects they're just as bad, but from a different side of it. But even the impressionists and milsimers, they're serious, but they know what they're doing serious.
Mm-hmm.
And as opposed to goofing off and like, hey, I'm going to shoot you in the staging area, that brings harm to the whole sport, and not just one specific area, and that could in turn ruin it for a lot of other people, and like get that sport banned in certain areas.
That's how bad press happens. Found that out the hard way. Titan loaded that kid his MP7.
Oh yeah, way to go.
Well, I mean, we're like in the staging area, just hanging out, and I was like, fuck.
You know, all the training in the world.
I mean,
As much
I was trying to be nice, alright?
Now you know better. Don't be nice.
This kid's gonna be the coolest kids out of everyone right here.
I love that. Man, I'm gonna quote that until you die. This kid's gonna be the coolest kid out of the whole.
So he's gonna have a cool gun, meaning is, gonna be as good as us.
I mean,
Then I tried to work out for
The
you.
impressionist.
Not very well, but yes.
that kid that always ran
And
out
then
of
we were trying to be
2000.
nice to the
Was
other
playing
kid.
with his dad's M16 in a safe area, and it was just laying on the table, and he
Oh.
flipped it on fire and pulled the trigger, and I was leaning up against my bench, and my hand was about 6 inches away. It
Yeah.
was like a 400 FPS gun. Glad I had my gloves on.
Oh.
Otherwise, that baby would have been buried in the fleshy side of my hand.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got pretty mad pretty quickly at that.
And this is why I bring my own table away from everyone else.
I started doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we just have our own table.
Folding tables. A great
Let's
investment.
know.
for
Bed of my
$40.
truck works great.
I do miss my pickup truck for that reason.
All right. Next, I think we should jump into the rules. There's a variety of rules for different scenarios. That being indoor airsoft, outdoor airsoft. Yeah. Mil sim specifically, and then a lot of the safety regulations. Are there any indoor rules that you feel benefit or harm the community that are like stick out like a sore thumb? Like things that come to mind are like full auto
Yeah.
being banned,
Yeah. Oh, no, that's good.
FPS regulation on being 350 max, things like that.
I mean, that kind of rolls into being a safety thing, too, because, more than 300 FPS, indoors, depending on the way the BB, that hurts, especially at close range, because you just run around the corner and suddenly, oh, there he is. Shoot him in the face. Yep. Sorry about that tooth.
Because I'm not going to lie, even as an event coordinator, I maintain the FPS rules and regulations. I don't actually know the origin of that joule energy outside of just plain old politics from other countries who believe in 1 joule, 1.15, things like that. So, from a grounding standpoint, all I have for reference is politicians saying this is what's okay and this is how we regulate it. Because we can deal with 400 FPS indoors at Milsim all day.
Yeah.
But, for the sake of the younger kids, do you feel that the way that 350 FPS should be treated is not severe enough by the airsoft community? Because you always got the guys, I hear more complaints about wanting that extra edge of more FPS.
If they feel they need more, if they feel they need a higher FPS to be better, they're playing the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's what I've always argued.
Some of the best players I've ever seen in an indoor field use a knife or a handgun
Yeah.
because they play smart. I'm just talking about it.
It's like,
I mean,
yeah.
we
No, I totally do that.
every
We all
single,
do it.
every single person in this room has had one of those games where you
Oh.
only fire like a couple rounds.
I love that
And it's
Bondi was the
not
first to
far away.
point out Mr. Pistols all the time.
What are you talking about?
That was elitism.
That was
It's a
elitism.
microaggression right there.
Yeah.
Get up,
I'm feeling a
Hunter.
little.
I don't like.
I feel like I need my safe space.
I don't like it when local fields say no full auto anywhere ever outside. I don't.
Outside.
I don't like that.
Period,
I mean,
or you
just
talking
period.
about platform based?
Platform
Because most
based,
of
like
it's
it
platform
has
based.
to have a box. It has to be belt fed or an RPK,
If it's
and
just
then
a
it can go
rifle-
full auto. And I don't know. That kind of annoys me because I like being able to use full auto, even though how often do I use it?
No,
Yeah.
Maybe once a weekend we're out, if that. I don't know. I just like having the ability to do so. Like I know that earlier this summer when it was you and me on that flank because you had gotten hit, Sam. It was just me and Tucker on that flank, and that would have been so nice. Just flip it to full auto and fire a nice 60-round burst into that bush and take out 3 of them.
Which one?
Just that was that really swampy day when I was like running through all that water up to my knees because I didn't realize
Nest
it was
of
so
Vipers
deep.
field?
Yeah,
Oh,
until
okay.
I was already in it to my knees.
Yeah.
And I just kept running through there screaming like a girl through the woods, just like trying to not get hit. That would have been nice. And that would have been the only time I used it at the event. I get why they do that because then everybody with their Walmart guns and above is just going to be running around just firing them full out at everybody. So I get why they do it. It's just kind of annoying. I'm American. I don't need to be told what I can and can't do.
Yeah. No, yeah, and that's part of the airsoft community.
I say that jokingly, but really though, I like having the ability to do so. My gun comes with it.
It opens up your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My M4 in the Army goes to full auto, but my toy can't. And it's just kind of annoying. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
It's one of my little pet peeves.
I mean,
Not that it matters.
it's like having one of those Lugers, and then you put a drum mag on it, and then if it actually had full auto,
See, that's badass.
in real life, that's super badass. But
Super
Airsoft,
unrealistic, but still
but an
badass.
Airsoft milsim would consider that super cringy, and they wouldn't want to see it, even though it mechanically exists in the world
Well, that's like
and the real world.
That's like the Airsoft the AA-12.
Right.
Like the stick mag holds like what?
8 rounds.
Well, the real one holds
Yeah,
8
the real
shells,
one,
but
yeah.
how much does the Airsoft one hold? Like,
88?
it's something like
88,
that.
90.
It does shoot
it-
3.
And then
It
it shoots 3 at a time, and you probably won't even be able to hit the neighbor's house there, which is what, about 50,
Actually,
60 feet away.
it's actually very. Those hop-ups actually are really
Are
good.
they pretty good? Because I know it's
It's a lower FPS gun.
Japanese,
but-
so you're sitting at like 290 feet per second.
Yeah.
So you're gonna walk faster than that BB goes after it travels about 70 feet.
Right.
But it's a full auto shotgun.
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome, and it actually has a spread. So it's kind of the same thing there.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'd see like an HPA tapped extended mag Glock 18 and compare it to that as far as realism goes, because that's like in the movies where they never reload anything.
I mean, hell, you got that you have that beta mag for standard
never used
M4
it.
platforms,
I
but
can't use it anywhere.
no, you can use that in my field,
I could use it at Hawk.
and you can use it at Eagle's Nest, and you could use it at Hole in
Actually,
the Wall, and you could use it at
I still-
Vantage, and you
I
could use it
go-
at.
I can't use it at Vantage.
Sure,
I'm
you
gonna
could.
get
You'd
weighed
never have
down.
to change a mag.
I know, and I'll never get anywhere because I want to lug that thing around.
So
I mean, I did lug that saw around until the battery fell out.
yeah,
That was fun. I got like one person with it.
yeah,
Came around
it's
the
a
corner
hard.
and saw
I
it.
didn't have much to
Yeah, it's hard out there for support.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a tangent.
Yeah, so I think there was one other aspect of indoor. Oh, the ricochets and the gun hits. Even though that extends to outdoor, sort of. Because you never usually get close enough to actually hit someone's gun, though it's...
Yeah.
And then you kind of get the weird BSE, oh, you hit my gun. I mean, I have to argue for you, I guess, if you're 50 feet away, maybe. I don't know,
It's annoying.
do you think with the ricochets, because real bullets ricochet, and they can actually still... That's the death sentence of standing next to a wall, is you're always trained to stand, what is it, 3 inches? More?
6 to 12 inches.
6 to 12 inches, because the ricochet will still follow the wall and hit you. Airsoft, we remove that because of the volume of fire that we can do in a short amount of time.
Well, at that point, I mean, real life, and even some of like the electric, like TAS or Miles systems that the military uses for training, you can't really. There's no real way to simulate an arm or a leg injury in airsoft.
No, because we do us one-hit kills.
Yes, and it's all honor based, and you're likely to forget. Oh wait, that's right. I can't use my left arm until a medic gets here, and then all of a sudden you start using your left arm because you forget.
Yeah.
Which, not that everybody would, but it's just makes it overly complicated, and it's hard to continue enjoying the game.
Yeah, I mean, we keep it to the one-hit kill because then if you get into like the LARPing aspect of it, then you'd have to debate every single person's plate carrier
And that's the
and
exact
what
same.
level of plate they have.
And that's the same complexity that ricochets are going to give you.
Like, for example, Mr. Hunter over here probably would never die because plastic BBs don't break real savvy plates.
It's true.
He's the only person that's a moron.
No, I wore mine once.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's
Around
what
the
Bill said.
Nims.
You wore it
I didn't.
or the NIMS ones.
I brought the 680 plates to NIMS on the outdoor field once just because I forgot they were in there.
Yeah.
But
It's okay, Kyle. We know you want to be cool.
I couldn't give a shit. I don't even get the good stuff in the military. I couldn't care less what I wear here.
Yeah. So now, when it comes to outdoor has an interesting rule set that we have to deal with. Outdoor is almost treated as no holds bar, where we do crazy FPS for bolt actions and things like that. And we've had the debates on whether or not the DMR platform even matters, because if you can just build up an M4 to do the exact same performance, does it really matter to change the model? Yeah, Bondi, we get it. You love your BTC Spectre crap.
He's
That's
just,
not
he's
what
just
makes-
mad. He's just mad our baseline M4s can do 250 feet.
That's not why my gun shoots.
Why is that? Is it because it's shooting hot?
Well, you remember?
You're not telling me something?
Remember you said it's the hop up and barrel setup that makes
Yeah.
the gun.
Hop up barrel and bucking is always the key.
I just
distance
good
and
at pulling my
accuracy.
trigger.
Yeah.
Because the system allows me to do that.
Yeah. No,
But, like I never go full auto. You know that.
yeah. Because you don't
Don't
need
need
to. You're good.
So you and I would probably have the highest rate of fire, though. That Titan and the Spectre. It'll be kind of fun to go side by side and just.
I have my other.
We need to
I have
do that
this-
in
I have
bunker
this
at
Spectre
Eagles
with.
No,
Spectre
experimenting with
12-1.
the Titan, putting it in Michael's build, I'm highly considering getting one.
Those Titans are
It's
nice.
very convenient. Like it was disturbing. Like you know how you watch Rick and Morty season 3.
I love Rick and Morty.
So
Yes,
you know the
I've seen
episode with the memories thing you
Yeah.
mentioned. So he's like, "Oh, you want to see what level is?" So he perfectly on the molecular scale does like a 3x3 foot square of perfect level
And
on the
Morty
earth. And Morty
stands
stands
on
on
it
it. He's like,
and
"Oh my
yeah.
god, this is amazing." The second he steps off, he's emotionally compromised and distraught because the world is so unbalanced.
Yeah.
All because of this little experience. That's what it's like going back from the Gate Titan and putting in the normal. It was so bad. I was like, because it's so instant. So I get it. And I probably will get one.
Forever.
I don't like the BTs. I don't like
Okay.
those switches.
I mean, it's still. I mean, obviously it has differences, but it's mostly the same type of.
They're It's like
So
it's
I don't care
BTC's
what you
only-
do. I mean, you can get any, you can get any system, but it's just like I like snappy triggers.
Yeah, no, I do too. Because when you're doing it on a real gun, you have some play, but once it hits, it should immediately go.
Like I
BTC's
don't know what you
only
call that one you always bring. With the Magpul furniture.
Oh
that
my!
one just has
yeah,
a
that's-
long trigger pull,
Your katana.
and that's for me a pet peeve.
No, the expensive GMP Magpul license
Yeah.
pull out thing that I
Oh
have.
yeah, the one I sold you, right?
No.
Is that the one I sold you? Because I sold mine. Who did I sell?
You
Or did I just sell it to some guy?
took my stock and you bought me a fixed stock.
Oh, that's right. And I
Which is
sold
still on
that
there.
for like
Yeah.
way more than I paid for it.
So,
I
but
made a lot of money.
Deal.
I made a lot of money on that gun.
when it comes to outdoor, do you feel that there's actually any limiting factors for outdoor? Because we let everything no holds barred, but then, like for me, it's purely recreational. So I allow an M4 to shoot full auto with a drum mag and all that stuff. Do you feel that kills the experience? Or do you think that there should be more limits?
No.
It's recreational.
The only
Yeah.
and the only thing that really limits you is your engagement distance, which I've never have seen anyone have a problem with, because it's always like because everyone's gun is like, oh, you have a arm's length, or which I would say is very close, but you have a 20, 50 foot engagement. You're never that close anyway
Yeah.
because it's outdoor.
Yeah, it's only 20 feet.
Yeah, and
People don't-
20 feet is a room.
Yeah. it's-
That's literally the size of an average room.
Yeah.
21 feet. You're rarely ever that close.
So then we agree.
Close, I mean,
Outdoor recreational.
You're not supposed to see.
Outdoor recreational. Perfect,
You are.
perfect
I
platform
am
for
still
airsoft.
Fucked up.
Now, MilSim is an interesting one because we have so many more diverse rules that limit us in the way that we play because we're attempting to recreate a real world situation with toy guns. You have your uniform requirements, which they're pretty loose on. Honestly, I mean,
Oh yeah.
the amount of different variations of tan in multicam, because multicam's not tan, it's multicam. And then you got all the green varieties, and then every country that has their version of green.
Right.
They're very forgiving, and I hate the fact that people try to talk about MilSim and then they're like, man, but there's so much stuff. It's like, no, not really. They don't care that your uniform isn't Cry. They just want you to make sure you're wearing green or you're wearing tan. You know, I mean, Tucker, you got a full helmet set up. They don't require that. They only require it for certain specific things.
Like a Milson West.
Yeah, they're attempting to do a specific. Everyone's trying to do Rangers from this era, so they want to make sure you're wearing the right helmet. But that's like it. There's not.
I'll say Lion Claws for the Delta team is about as for Irene. That's about as specific as I've seen for
They
the
do
more
black helmets.
for the
Right?
more relaxed Milsim experience.
Yeah.
That's about as restrictive as I've seen. You
You
need to wear
just about every helmet for like $10 to $12.
you need to wear a specific camo, like they want like a specific set of things. But it's also an invite only group, so
Yeah. With the MilSims, we have plenty more vehicles that happen than ever will happen at a recreational field. And one of the thing that comes up specifically is the immortal gunner. Most of the time it's an immortal gunner because eventually you're just not going to have an effective tactical vehicle unless you have that many guns in those plexiglass lined windows pointing in 4, 2 on each side so that they can never get hit technically. It's basically the same concept as riot shield. Does it make or break the airsoft community because we have immortal gunners?
No.
Have you ever been frustrated you couldn't shoot out the gunner?
No. Well, yes, but
Yes.
also
because I've done it.
I need to say yes. I don't get frustrated about it because I get why, but at the time you're always like, oh, if we could just shoot you and this would be over.
I could have saved 10 guys.
Yeah, but at the same time, think about it. It's a truck
He's so
it's a
vulnerable.
truck with a machine gun on it. Realistically, that'd be a 50 cal or at least a 240, which means 240. He's going to be 800, 900, 1,000 meters away from you. And if it's a 50, he's going to be 1,500 meters away from you, just raining death into whatever building you're in.
Right.
You're not going to be able to do anything to him, no matter unless you literally have well, even then, like a 7.62 is not going to do enough at that distance.
No.
You need the M24. You need a 300 Win Mag or larger military sniper rifle to be able to reach out that far. Your M14, as cool as it is,
Not gonna do it.
it's still not going to do it because the 308 round physically can't. It's not powerful enough at that range unless you literally get the guy in the eye.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
I can blink this truck with it, but as far as doing any
Yeah.
effective damage, like Kyle's saying,
It's not. No.
Right.
So
no.
I get why they do that, and that might not even be the reason why they do it, because those vehicles do have to be in really close, which is why the real military tactics, it's not like Black Hawk Down. You don't roll into a village unless you have unless there's no other way to go and you have to go in there. Military, like the truck, like the Humvees, like the 50s, the Mark 19s, the TOWs, they're not going to go in a city, ever. They always stay as far away as they can. It's like armor. You don't want to go there because people can get above you and kill you.
Yeah.
So, it makes sense.
Okay.
I appreciate that they do that, because also, who's going to want to be the gunner?
Right.
I mean, that would be the most miserable job in the world. And I'm sure they still get shot to shit all the time, because people still try to get them to stop shooting at them.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this year it got a lot better with the vehicles there. I don't think many people were shooting at the gunners.
Oh, for a
At
broken
Broken
day.
Dagger. I don't think the gunners really got shot at all that much, because people find, like, they really enforced it there.
Like, get grenades.
Yeah.
Get launchables.
Just use the grenades if you don't have any. Run away.
Yeah.
Like, get out of there. Like, you're not paying to stay in one place. Vehicles are part of it. Don't shoot the gunners, or they'll shoot you a lot.
Yeah.
And they will not stop when the kill rank comes out. They will keep
The
going.
video that I made, the end there with the Jeep or whatever, it kept coming out. So, like, one gunner got out and killed him. Second person came out to heal him, killed him. Third person came out, killed him. And I'm like, okay, 3 guys are dead. So I got up to revive our guys that were out, because they didn't know I was fucking laying right there. And there was a 4th person in the Jeep that got up and shot me. Killed everyone in that damn truck.
I had I think it was on the Sunday, so like the last days that's when they said I think one of the trucks had to leave.
Yeah.
I think it was like we had 3
We had 3 and
one.
they had 2, and then one of theirs left. So we had
Yeah, so
3 vehicles and they had 1. It was
Yeah,
super
then
unfair.
they gave them one of ours when I didn't forget that
It was
one of
the-
our
it was
old
the-
ones was theirs.
It was the
Humvee.
tan Humvee.
Yeah, and I was like, it
we
was
had,
like
we had the black amped Humvee, and then we had that sweet ass rental Silverado.
yeah, and I was over by I was by an objective, and the truck came running around, like a couple guys got hit, and I'm laying down, and I was still in, and I like just laying down, and the truck's there. I like turned my back to it, and I was like laying under brush, and then I hear it passed, and then it did a circle, and then I'm like, oh shit, it's coming back, and then I hear like the people in the truck yelling like, "Hey, are you still in?" I'm not answering, and then they just shoot me like, "Oh, hit."
Well,
I tried
that's
to just,
like
like-
that.
I'm not gonna answer.
You know what I'm about to say? That reminds me of that tier 1 thing that we did that second night.
Yep.
And everybody fucking abandoned me in that field because I didn't know we were
You hit me
leaving.
with the fucking log. Of course I was going to abandon you.
I'm just laying there in tall grass. That truck, I bet that truck drove circles around me about 4 times.
Probably.
Literally shooting over me. I don't think they knew where anybody was, but I was right there the entire. I could hear them going over the grass above me, just ripping through the grass. I'm just like laying down like as flat as I can. That was funny. And then the ref comes walking by. He didn't know he was within 4 or 5 feet of me. Had no idea it was there. I was like, "Are you in?" Or he's like, "Oh my god, you scared the shit out of me." I'm in Woodland, laying down in the dark. I'm just like, "You're not gonna try and kill me, are you?" Because I'm like ready to just hose the shit out of you right now.
I think the other part of it too, like the Milsim, like it's so easy to destroy the damn vehicles. They come out and go right back to respawn. Then come out and go right back to respawn. Like they were hardly ever actually in a fight.
I don't know. When they chased us around that stupid building,
that was
Over by the edge of the thing. Yeah.
that one lone standing warehouse building where we all ran inside, hid in the barrels.
Oh yeah.
Man, if my gun wasn't on safe and it was loaded, I would have just took down a large portion of them.
I even had
But
my
I
gun at
pulled
that
out,
time,
pulled
I
through
would've killed
shit.
Oh my god. Last thing I got for rules is the safety equipment and how the community responds. One major one is the iPro is the big one. Is you have a lot of guys that go to the airsoft games. And we always say full seal eye protection, continuous loop of foam or rubber going around the eyes and all that shit. Doesn't matter how thin profile or whatever, it just needs to make sure completely covered. You got guys that bring shot glasses, and it drives me up the fucking wall. Do you feel that? How harmful do you feel that is towards the community and guys like me who host? And do you feel that that should be punished severely, or how do you?
How easy it is to get something like that.
I don't feel
$5 for the safety goggles that I wear. $5 please.
Yeah.
I feel it's more harmful to let them play or to not. And it kind of sucks to say it, but use them as an example. If there's someone there that has that, they're not playing, period. Unless you can get your hands on some Full Seal iPro or you and your buddy flip-flop every game. Sorry, man. You can't play.
Yeah.
Insurance literally says you need to have this and you don't have it. I'm sorry. It sucks. I don't have a spare pair. I'd give you one if I did, but you can't play with those. And it's the way it is.
Yeah.
Like Tucker was saying, it's really inexpensive. Like the goggles I wear, you've seen them, they're pretty big.
Yeah.
And it was like $14.
Yeah. They're cheap.
But they're cheap. But I've been shot in a square in them from point blank. No damage. The only scratch I get is because not something I was doing. But pop those vents out. Never had a fogging issue. You don't have to spend so much money for like fan built-in stuff. Just
as long as they're
full.
ANSI whatever the code is.
Z87.1.
Yeah. As long as it's ANSI Z81.1.
West Michigan Airsoft. Come play.
Yeah. Well,
I have to memorize all that shit.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching part 1 of this podcast. Please click the link to check out part 2.